We're going to go ahead and get started now. We're going to start with the welcome by Brother Brandon Lewis, who I will now yield the floor to so he can give us a brief welcome and we can start with our program. Thank you very much.
Good afternoon, brothers. I'll start by saying that 40 years is a blessing, and let's give ourselves a round of applause for making it to this place. I'd also say let's take a look around this room. Just look around. The legacy of this chapter is breathtaking. It's monumental, and we should never ever forget that. I use the term legacy, and I want to be clear. The legacy of the chapter infers that we're talking about the past. And the reality is this chapter has a beautiful and amazing present. And we know that this chapter is going to have an enduring and ongoing future. So the call to action for each of you, bros, and all of the other folks who are in the room with us, contribute. Whether it's a financial contribution, whether it's a contribution of your time or your talents or your ideas, let's continue to contribute, and let's ensure that we do everything that it takes to ensure that we are here in 10 years celebrating the 50th anniversary of Pi Omicron. God bless, brothers, and let's have an amazing homecoming weekend. I'll now pass it to Brother Brooks for the invocation.
Good afternoon. Will you please bow your heads and close your eyes? Gracious and loving God, we come before you today with thankful hearts, grateful for the gift of this occasion. Thank you for allowing us to gather today in fellowship, celebration, and unity. We recognize that every good thing comes from you, and today we pause to honor your presence among us. Lord, we ask that you bless not only this meal, but also the reason we are gathered. May this occasion strengthen our bonds, deepen our sense of purpose, and remind us of the love and joy that come when we walk together in your name. Bless each person here, their families, their journeys, and their future endeavors. We lift up those who could not be here with us today, asking for your comfort and care over them. May this gathering inspire us to continue spreading kindness, hope, and light to those around us. Bless the food before us, the hands that prepared it, and may it nourish our bodies as your word nourishes our souls. As we share in this meal, let us also share in gratitude, laughter, and love. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen. I will now pass the floor to Brother Chapman.
First off, I just want to say my name is Brother Chris Chapman. I'm the current Pi Omicron chapter president. I want to thank all of y'all for being here. It's very important for us to see 40 years of brotherhood and leadership that's been serving on this campus, been making impacts on this campus, and will continue to do that. So I think just taking this time to look around the room and really see all of the great changes that we've been able to make as Black men at this university, and we've been able to affect the world in very positive ways. So our goal for the future is to continue doing that progress. We appreciate all the support y'all have shown us, and we look forward to continuing the great legacy of Pi Omicron. With that being said, I believe we will transition to Brother Masai, and then we can get lunch served as well.
Good afternoon, brothers. Good afternoon. My name is Masai Collins. I'm a Fall 24 initiate of the People's Chapter Pi Omicron, and I'll be the MC for this luncheon. First off, on behalf of the chapter, I just wanted to welcome everyone back to campus. We truly appreciate you all taking the time to come down, and your presence really reminds us and makes us recognize the strength and unity in our brotherhood. Seeing so many of y'all here inspire us as undergrads to keep building on the legacy you created for us. It reminds us that brotherhood, especially in PIO, doesn't end after graduation. Some people I wanted to recognize. So Mr. Tim Scott came down, the chief of Mr. Josh Brown has come down, the Director of Student Activities. And then I also want to recognize Ms. Lowe King, the MPHC advisor. And the Chief of Staff, Tim Scott. Thank you for all being here again, and I won't keep you any longer. Dinner is served. Hey, brothers.
Brothers, just a quick note. Thanks to Brother Roland Martin, we're getting the video equipment. Brothers, it's a quick note. Thanks to Brother Roland Martin, we're getting the video recorder set up. If you want to step over here in a few minutes, make a testimonial about the experience, your time in Alpha and Pi, we'll have that ready for you to do. Certainly going to allow us to take that information and drop it into our program that will sit on luncheon. Please enjoy your lunch.
It's cool, man. Sit down and eat. It's fun. All right, Joe.
All right, so you let Alpha line. Y'all come on, give your thoughts.
Boy, you better go.
Y'all gonna give your little thoughts. Give your little thoughts. What's up, bro? How you doing? Y'all good?
Why they gotta be little?
You come get your little thoughts.
Whenever you get time, give me
That's right. Come get.
going to be a large scale.
When?
I don't know when in the program, but it will be.
No, we live streaming. Dude, who you think you're talking to?
I don't know what.
I'm sorry. Did you get me confused with some other people? What is wrong with here? Oh, hold on. Oh, you know my name.
It has begun.
Hold on. Now I can make you real famous in about 3 minutes. Don't let me go get my phone. Don't let me get my phone.
Out the way. Let me get out the way.
Okay, let me explain something to you. I walk in prepared. So just so you understand, let's be real clear. Y'all forgot I was at Jack Yates High School before I got here. Don't get that confused. Y'all see how we do talking. Come on, Chaz. You be first. Come on. Oh, now y'all scared. Ken. All right, come on. You can be the first one to record your thoughts.
Okay, record my thoughts.
Back up.
All
right, you good.
Okay, good. Hey, we're going to give a quick elevator speech. Ken Robinson, class of 93, Dallas, Oak Cliff, Texas, here in the house. Really glad to be here back at Texas A&M. Hey, well, everybody knows I'm from the best line that plays this chapter, or that plays in this chapter. Spring 91, Ada line, the 7 wise men. Really glad to be here. We've had a great time thus far. I love not just Texas A&M, but I love Alpha Phi Alpha, and even more than that, I love the Pi Omicron chapter. I love the brothers. We have a great relationship, and it's just great to be back. So I'm gonna get off this mic. Great time. Appreciate my man Roland for setting this up. But Roland, hey, love all y'all. Hey, check it out.
I need Mike.
Yeah, edit that for me.
Nuh-uh, it was live, and we live streaming. Come on, Lou. Come on, Lou. Come on, Lou.
I don't know how to do this now.
Yeah, I know how to do it. Stand over there. Stand over there. All right, right there. Name, back up. Come on. To the left. There you go. All right, name, where you're from, live. Just your thoughts about Pi O.
Llewellyn Dairy, Pi O, spring 1987. Graduated Texas A&M 1988. And my thoughts of Pi O is a legacy built by 3 amazing men here at Texas A&M, and it blossomed into half of what we see in this room about men who are impacting the world, not just from their education, but from their hearts, what they learned while they were in Alpha Phi Alpha. Thank you.
Got it.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. KC? All right.
Oh, Lord. You putting me on the...
Yep. Stand that way. Back up slightly. There you go. All right. Your name, affiliation with Pi O, and your thoughts on this 4th anniversary.
My name is Brother Kevin Carruthers, one of the 3 founders of Pi Omicron chapter at Texas A&M University, and I am honored to be one of the founders and just thrilled to be here to celebrate 40 years of this chapter being on the campus of Texas A&M University. They have done a wonderful job at at this institution over the past 40 years, and very, very proud of all the brothers who have gone through this chapter. Thank you.
All right, there we go.
All right. There we go.
All right, get that right there. There we go. All right, we got it.
Good afternoon, brothers and sisters.
Thank you, brother. I love that guy. Let me again introduce myself. My name is Kevin Johnson, Brother Kevin Johnson. I see how this is going to go for the rest of the afternoon. My name is Brother Kevin Johnson. As Brother Pennywell mentioned, I'm number 6 on the Alpha line, Lords of Discipline. Class of 87, initiated March 5th, 1985. I welcome you to the homecoming. We certainly appreciate having you here. I know some came on Thursday night, tremendous experience. You met with the young guns, as I called them. Very impressive. We really appreciate the interaction and the insight and look forward to working with them in the future. But today, we're going to talk about a couple of things that are a bit different. One, we have some work to do. And that is because of what we've seen over the last couple of days and what we've heard. But more important than that is our legacy, our foundation, the brothers that started all this. So we're going to spend some time on both. But first and foremost, as the agenda says, we're going to bring up a couple of brothers to help us out. Brother Buffalo. We had a golf challenge, so we're going to talk about that a little bit. We have a photo that we're going to do, so we're going to talk about that a little bit. But what I do want to say is appreciate you wearing your coats and your ties, but now it's time to be brotherly. We're going to go informal here a little bit, have a little fun, and hopefully you will engage with us as we engage with you. So first and foremost, let's talk about our golf challenge.
Good afternoon. I'm Brother Rod Weaver, Zeta Line, Regnum Invictus, the Unconquerable Kingdom over there. Paul 89. And I am a Rod, Brother Pennywell, and we do talk loud. Don't know what's wrong with the rest of them, brother. All right. Rod. All right. Thanks again. It was kind of last minute. Within the last month or two, we started asking for brothers to attend a golf challenge. We got 16 brothers that were able to participate. We'll have discussions earlier, take surveys earlier, take input earlier for the next one, so we can make it bigger and better and come up with a scramble format that everybody seems to want to do. Just didn't have enough time and enough people to make that happen this time around. So that said, we ended up doing a individual scoring system, and we have a first, a second, and a third place, and a most skins trophy that we're going to give out. Mr. Jimmy Jones would have won the third place with a score of 94. Will one of his line brothers please come represent for him? Yep. I knew he was going to say something. Everybody shot above average. Pressure bust pipes. So when you get all that pressure in your homies there with you and talking noise, pressure bust pipes. All right, now stay here. Stay up, Con. We'll take a picture. Con, stay up. We'll take a picture together also. All right. Fred Riggs. Is Fred Riggs still here? All right. Fred Riggs came in second place with a score of 87. Who's going to represent Fred? All right. What did you shoot yesterday in Dallas, Roland? Yeah. I do 5 scrambles a year. 52 is an easy number to get to. All right, here we go. Hey, here we go. And with a score of 86, it came down to the last hole. Then the Tony was there. One putt to finish up win by one stroke. Mr. Rod Weaver. Oh. There you go. And the final trophy, we tried to come up with some way, everybody can make a birdie, everybody make a par at a time that others don't. We actually had 4 people that had skins. Derek had a skin. Corey Anthony had a skin out of 16 guys. Fred had a skin, and this guy got 3 skins. Rod Weaver.
We have voted at our table, Rod, and we will be launching an internal investigation.
Brother Buffalo.
All right, bros. Brad Buffalo here, Spring '98. The ace on the line, but we're going to talk about the chapter photo. Okay, chapter photo. We're going to take out on the rudder stairs, but we need to very organized. What I'm going to do is two type of photos. One is a regular chapter photo, basically on the stairs. That's fine. And then the next one will be a drone shot. We're trying to spell out Pi O, and also spell out 40. Okay. Don't worry about that. But the most important thing is we need to make sure everybody's in line. So we're going to start with the younger brothers to get them on top of the stairs first, so they get out first. So you guys have to be in order in line. So when we go push you outside, you're in order. So we want the Alpha chapter to be the very front, and every chapter after them. Okay. Every line. Got you? Got me. All right. So my colleague right here, he's going to help me out. So he's going to take the main picture. I'm going to help with the drone shot. But the most important thing is that everybody, when we get outside, everybody get in their lines, and we're going to go out line by line. All right? We don't need y'all on the stairs. It's going to be 2 o'clock. We don't need y'all on that stairs for a lot of time. All right? Because it's going to be hot. So everybody listen, pay attention. Let's get it done and get it out. All right? Any questions? All right, cool.
All right, so I also want to take the time, as you can see, I want to take the time to recognize and acknowledge the work of the committee. So, brothers on the committee, would you just please stand for us? These brothers have been working for the last 6 months to make sure that we had a great weekend, that we're having a great weekend. So I cannot thank you enough for your efforts, for your diligence, for all the arguments, all the candor, and so forth. It's been an amazing experience, as always, with my brothers. I appreciate you. I know everyone in this room does as well. So thank you for your efforts. Let's have a great rest of the weekend and wrap it up next week so that all these brothers can see everything that we've accomplished. So, again, round of applause. And we do have a few brothers in the room that we haven't seen in quite some time. So as we work our way around the tables, would love to make sure that we recognize them. We have a couple of mics that'll go around just in case we want to say something, do something, or what have you. But we're here. Let's get this started with some reflections. Brother Joseph.
Good afternoon. I guess I'm kind of like one of the odd guys out. I can't say that Pi Omicron is my chapter directly. At a time when Dr. Raymond Carruthers served as the Southwestern Regional Vice President, and I served at that time what was known as the State President of Texas. It wasn't a conversation that he and I had, and we reflected on expansion. How could we bring more chapters of Alpha across the state, both undergraduate and graduate chapters? So a ball was put into motion to do just that. The idea to come to Texas A&M came from one of my line brothers, who is in the Texas A&M Ring of Honor, Judge Willie Blackman. Willie Blackman wanted to bring Alpha to A&M, but because of a job move, he had to move to Nebraska. He was unable to bring the Alpha chapter here. And I said to him, I say, Willie, we're going to make it happen. And that was the real backstory of a conversation that came because he wanted to bring Alpha to A&M. And if you know Willie Blackman, he's a diehard Aggie. So much so he sold his home in Houston, Pleasantville, to move to College Station. I say, man, yeah. But his whole goal was to bring Alpha here. And I was just honored to have served as the now district director. I was the 8th district director. And yes, I was very, very young. I was 26 years old when I got elected to that position, and there were men older than me, Jay Pennywell, and others who helped guide me, and I was making a call, Reggie. I was making a call with these men. I knew they had been Alphas long before I even thought about Alpha. But they also saw something and trusted in this crazy guy from Third Ward who thought he could conquer the world. And we tried to do that in Texas. And as a result, Pi Omicron became part of 6 chapters that was charted during 1985. And it was a challenge. And I'm grateful just to have the opportunity to come and see all the work that you brothers have done. And I would be very, very remiss if I didn't say this. I'm very proud of the Martin brothers, Reginald and Roland. I knew them when they were in middle school. We attended the same church. I think, Reggie, I gave you a scholarship to come. But in all of a sudden, so I gave both of y'all money, huh? Yeah, that was part of the plan. That was part of the plan. Because I truly wanted to, I didn't bribe y'all to get the Alpha, but influence them in a way. You knew what our responsibility was. Thank you. It was already understood, right? But I was very, very grateful, and I'm honored just to know that legacy and their contributions to Alpha, I'm very, very proud of them as though they're my own sons because they represented my ideas in what I thought was the greatest fraternity in the world. You might not know my name. You might not know nothing else about me. But you would say, there goes an Alpha man.
Now, years 1985 through 1990. Welcome, brothers, the students.
Where's brother Chad going? Okay, all right. Yeah, okay. So that was, I did not know that. And it was good to hear that, brother. Because for me and for us, Alpha started in 1985. And we had 3 brothers. 84. What? I'm talking about the chapter. I ain't talking about all the stuff we went through before that, but we're not going to get into that. But in 1985, we had three brothers, three founders, three jewels. Brother Benson, Brother Carruthers, and Brother Dr. Lark. And their job at Texas A&M University was threefold. First, they had to take some boys and make them men. And then they had to take these men through our pledging process and make them alpha men. And then after that, they had to establish our culture of Pi Omicron. And the hardest thing that they had to do was find a way for them to sustain what our culture was. After all of us left in the very few lines that we had, but they had to sustain it. You know, this was not a one and done. But what was most difficult was to do it in the backdrop of Texas A&M University. The 80s, I think, for us, was more so about what the atmosphere, the political atmosphere of a very conservative university, where most of their exposure came from the 6 o'clock and the 10 o'clock news, where brothers were depicted in either red or blue. Either you were a Crip or you were a Blood. And we had to remove that stigma through our own energies and access to us being alpha men, where we put on those black t-shirts. How did they do that? Well, for the most part, it was for them to figure out that once we became men and we became alpha men, they had to figure out a way to give us the resources that we needed to sustain the chapter, but more so we got to set the culture first. And the way we did that was becoming, through their facilitation, through their leadership, becoming the first fraternity that was recognized by Texas A&M University. Notice I said the first fraternity. I didn't say the first black fraternity. I said the first fraternity. And what that meant for us is that we had a cubicle, which is a big deal. We had a cubicle on campus. Big deal. Why was that such a big deal? Well, because we were up there with the other social groups. They could learn about us as alpha men by visiting our cube. So our leadership started there in terms of us leading the student population at Texas A&M University and making sure that the administration knew that they did not make a mistake. How did that work? Well, we have resources now. And I think the brothers now that are on the yard, they understand. We got resources. We could get rooms. We could do stuff. We could have social programs where we had workshops to help people learn how to be students at Texas A&M University. But also, that I love is that we had an opportunity, and I remember the brothers mentioning last night about parties. Well, we had some parties. But our parties were purposeful from the sense, and I think y'all's are too, where we were able to raise funds to further ourselves and further the fact that our mission, simply put, is we have to serve. We have to have the resources and the money to serve. One way that we were able to do that is we instituted Miss Black and Gold. That was a way for us to reach out into the campus and show everybody through Mrs. Black and Gold that we support our sisters here at Texas A&M University. We wanted to give them a platform in which they could express themselves and show their excellence as students. And we get to further their endeavor for education. We gave them scholarships. We gave them money, stuff that they needed. Okay? Now, y'all know Brother Dr. Lark and you know Kevin Carruthers. The next step was What else? So now we have to go beyond Texas A&M University, and we have to show our leadership in the communities of Bryan and College Station. At the time, there was an unfortunate movement where our kids were dropping out of school, particularly here in Bryan and College Station. How did we serve in that capacity? Well, what we had to do was we had to go into those communities, partner with those administrations and the teachers, and we adopted a school. That was our next expansion in terms of us growing up Alpha and trying to institute our serving in the surrounding community. Okay, we got that done. We outreached. We wanted to make sure the kids knew that they needed to stay in school. We wanted to make sure that they had role models, and we provided that with them to let them know that they not only do they need to stay in school, but they have role models now that show them that Texas A&M, if you decide to go beyond high school with your education, Texas A&M in your own backyard was a viable resource. And if it's not for you, now you understand the college is also available to you. Okay, we're serving. Here we go back to our founding fathers again. That wasn't enough. Okay, that's cool. Because remember, we're alpha men. We keep going. The next thing that we did is that we established a program where we adopted a highway. Y'all remember that? The purpose of that was to expand ourselves beyond Texas A&M, beyond Bryan College Station, adopt this highway, because at the time, from a state perspective, don't mess with Texas. We have to support that. We supported it. Now we got our sign where, you know, we big time. We got a sign where you leading into Highway 6 and you see Alpha Phi Alpha sitting on that sign. Okay, cool. That got us through the first two bullets that I think these brothers wanted us to do. They established us as men. They established us as alpha men. They established the culture of Pi Omicron. They established the fact that not only that we are alphas, we are Pi Omicron alphas. So how do we keep this going? Very, very simple. At least to these two brothers, our jewels. We got to be able to sustain all of that we were taught through 85 through 90. We got to sustain it. How do we do that? These brothers had the forethought that they gave us the gift of collective consciousness. Okay? What does that mean? That means that whatever their values were as alpha men are our values. When we walk out in our black t-shirts and we understand that it's not about you anymore, and everything you do, whether it be good or not so good, you're representing Pi Omicron. I got you, brother. So I'm going to end with this. I'm going to close because I just told I'm talking too much, and I do that. So, but I do want to say this because I told my brothers that I would say this. Whatever, and I'm talking to the brothers that own the yard today, whatever you do as a Pi Omicron alpha, do not forget our jewels. The expectation of the brothers who have been through this before, alpha line, beta line, whoever line that came before you, that took the ideals and shaped the Pi Omicron culture, do not forget Brother Benson, Brother Carruthers, and Brother Dr. Lark. It is within your control to sustain our chapter ideals by remembering not only their names, but their contributions to Pi Omicron. Because without them, there is no us. Go ahead, brother.
Thank you, Brother Holmes, for helping us to understand the climate, the atmosphere, and the circumstances which led to the birth of our chapter. the vision of Dr. Alvin Lark, of Kevin Carruthers, and Brother Benson, and the bold, courageous leadership of Alpha Line would set in motion a legacy that would change the trajectory of black men on the campus of Texas A&M throughout eternity. Using my time, brothers, I'd like to bring light or illuminate, if you will, many of the successes, the controversies, and even heartbreaking moments that our young chapter would soon endure. The chapter's successes were unparalleled and touched every aspect of campus life. Reginald Martin would work with Kevin Carruthers to launch the wildly successful Southwest Black Student Leadership Conference. With France Brown, we saw a chair in BAC. Eric Henderson would become the first black vice president of the MSC. Paul Stafford elected vice president of the Student Government Association. And by all accounts, he was the first man of color to do so. Brothers such as Anthony Hawkins and William Price would assume leadership positions in NSBE and in NABA, respectively. Roland Martin was elected to the National E-Board of the National Association of Black Journalists. And in Kevin Roberts, we celebrated the first black drum major in the history of Texas A&M University. Pi Omicron would triumph in athletics as well. Lou Derry would hurdle his way into the history books with his line brother William Price blazing a trail on the track. Derek Smith, Brian Edwards, and touchdown Tommy Duncan. They moved the chains on the football field. And Freddie Ricks would leave his legacy on the court. The Miss Black and Gold pageant became the envy of all of Alpha. From Jocelyn Anglin to Angela Barnes, Denise Nance to Karen Jackson and Dana Mendenhall. We showed the face of what black excellence looked like. In fact, Albert Johnson, when he was chair of the Texas Council of Alpha Chapters, he sent a state delegation down to Texas A&M to see what our pageant looked like. We had winners, and I'll let Ken talk about this, but what would go on to be Erica Davis and Tracy Barton and Danielle Lindley, this chapter would compete on a national stage and take home the ever so elusive first place prize and trophy. But it was our innovation and our ingenuity that I admired most. Pi Omicron brothers had always been bold, always thinking outside of the box. The chapter started the lip sync contest, and then it went away. And I resurrected lip sync, and I will tell you at the beginning, it wasn't, that successful, but it would become successful as lip sync, and then it would morph into what many of you know as Alpha Palooza. William Price started the Griot Society, a literary organization which relayed the oral history of our people and which had intellectual discussions around some of the greatest black authors and poets of our time. When Zeta Line crossed the burning sands in fall of '89, it was a watershed moment for Pi Omicron chapter. Our line brought the numbers to a total of 36 brothers on the yard. We had brothers from every line still on campus when Zeta Line crossed. And that was essential and helpful to establishing the legacy that we see today. Howard Anderson, Thomas Whittington, Will Adams, and myself, we won the very first KA Psi Greek Olympiad. And we traveled and competed abroad at the Delta's Greek Show at North Texas, but also, LB, if you remember, we stepped at the main event in Houston. In 1990, brothers, we hosted district, Alpha Phi Alpha, the district convention right here in College Station. And I'm very happy to know and to see that history is repeating itself. We left an indelible mark on the leadership of Excel and of Metals, and those two organizations would become pipeline programs for recruitment and retention tools for the university. Pi Omicron won the very first Mr. Ebony contest. I bet some of you have never heard of that. It was a contest that was sponsored by the AKAs. And you want to hear something? Brothers took home all 3 prizes. Theo Franklin, Derek Smith, and Eric Henderson. They placed first, second, and third, so we swept the entire pageant. And just as we had many successes, we were the subject of controversy. We lost that stretch of highway and our sign in the Adopt a Highway program. And brothers, I remember when we hosted our first smoker, and we called them back then MIAs, or men interested in alpha. We were in Rudder, and the event began at 7:06 p.m. So at 7:07, Carl goes to the sign-up sheet in the back and replaces the black pen with a red pen. So all of those that came in late had to sign their names in red. We were in front of a packed house, and there's some brothers right here. They were there. It was standing room only, brothers, because I think the chapter was yearning, the campus was yearning for the next set or the next group of alphas. You have to realize that when my line crossed, God bless his soul, we had a Sands at Morehouse who passed away. So the pledge process changed. It was a moratorium at first, and then it became a 2-week process, and then you guys know what happened after that. So it had been a year and a half with our line being neophytes. So we were ready. So my LB Carl stands up. He was elected DP of the line, and he told the brothers, he said, if you turn in your application late, if you have misspelled words, brothers, I'm telling you, we laugh at it today, but the tension was so high after that interest meeting that after all the aspirants left, Freddie Riggs stood up and he said, MF, you can't say that. And so I had to whisk Carl out, and we jumped in his car and we went to the regional meeting that was in Arkansas to go hang out with one of our sons that was in school there at the University of Arkansas. But it was very contentious. And but we enjoyed it and we had a good time. Brothers, if you take nothing away from what I've just described, please know this, that a group of 19 to 23-year-olds created a legacy here on the campus of Texas A&M University. We had all aspects of campus life on lock. We forged some of the greatest bonds and friendships that are unmatched, even amongst Alpha chapters. And I'm very proud to say that I have been a part of it. We've been in each other's lives, in each other's weddings. We've served as godparents to each other's children. And we've cried together at funerals. I'm proud to say that I am Pi O. And I hope you are proud too. And with that, I take my seat, brothers.
So, brothers, that was 85 to 90. So let's just take a moment. If you were initiated from 85 to 90, please stand. Thank you for holding us up for that first 5 years. Now,
we good.
My man, you good?
Yeah, man, we good. Come on, David. First of all, you're going to see a little different in temperament than the first two brothers that came up here. Brothers don't talk so long. We get it. But no, seriously, so Rod and Charles, they just did 1985 to 1990. So we have 90 to 95. We came into the chapter at a great time. That line that Charles was just talking about and the papers that Carl tore up in the interest meeting, we were that line, me and my line was. We were that line. And so I can remember, and you're talking about Texas A&M, a predominantly white institution, and how few of us, at the time, probably about 3.2% black, we had it was between 50 and 60 guys in that interest meeting, which is a lot for a Texas A&M campus, for any campus, in particular, predominantly white campus. And so they took seven of us out of that in spring of 1991. Again, we came into a very, I believe, fertile chapter. We had the Zeta line, who I felt really, you guys, I love all you guys. We were strong. I mean, we came into a very strong chapter. I remember even Tommy Duncan, Ed Magruder, Ed Haskins. Those guys were still on the yard because they were grad students. And so we came into a very mature chapter. And brothers, I can tell my line brothers, we took it to another level. We did. We were those guys. We were those guys. And I don't say that lightly or slightly, but we were those guys. And we took it to another level. I prayed, my prayer is that we made all of you proud. I look at Kevin and Dr. Lark. I look at the Zeta line who brought us in and the other brothers that are here. I really do. I really humbly hope that we made you guys proud. I really do appreciate that. And with that, that's all I have. I do want to say, I got to show brothers how to talk short. It's very concise, but what I want to do is between 1985 and 1990, and then 90 to 91, we were the seventh line to come through the chapter. I'm just trying to give you a little perspective. So you had the Alpha line. You guys raise your hand. I know Rod. There's a few from the Alpha line. And then the Beta line, Derek and Chris Phillips and Ed Magruder. Then Gamma line. I've never seen the entire Gamma line here. Now we know, so y'all need to give them a round of applause. I've never seen them all at one time. And you're talking about 13 guys. Now we know our brother Brian just passed, but minus Brian, all 12 of them here. So I'm really, really excited about that. And then after the Gamma line, we know our brother Franz Brown, who was on the line by himself, the man that stands alone. And then after where's Freddie and John and Paul Stafford and Roland Martin? They came, and then the Zeta line again. So 6 lines. We were the 7th line. So between 1985, when you guys started this, and 1991, we had 7 lines. We were the 7th, and brothers, the foundation was set. Alpha was soaring. We were doing well. The university knew us. We knew the university, and things were getting done. Take us where you want to go.
Well, thanks. David Washington, Fall 93 Kappa line, and Ken was our dean. So, if he took it to that level, then the Kappa line had to take it to the next level. Go ahead, Kappa line, stand up real quick. We had 100% today, which was great. So I think the precedent was set earlier about the backdrop of what was going on when we were in school. So we had LA riots, we had O.J. Simpson, we had a war in Bosnia, Nelson Mandela was elected president. We had a lot going on. And at that time, you guys had already kind of set the blueprint of what we needed to do. So we knew that we had to be in charge of the campus. So we did that. We had presidents and vice presidents of almost every group because that blueprint had been set. I was vice president student body. I was chapter president. We got the head of the NAACP, Sean, was here. We had controversy with that in the MSC. We had Cornell X down here. We had Ron Wilson. We were politically engaged. We had a lot going on in the campus. But we were also socially engaged. We had Chris Rock, Bill Bellamy. We had Joe Torre. Chico DeBarge. We had all that going on. We made some money. We made some money. We had a lot going on. We had a lot going on. And we took it to the next level. We talked about nationalism, black and gold. It was Erica, and then it was Tracy. So we kept it moving. But it was because that had already been set. Kevin was here to make sure that we did things a certain kind of way. Sometimes we agreed, sometimes we disagreed. But we got it done. The bar was set. And so we look for those kind of brothers to keep things going. And you could see that when we even had a deficit, some of the brothers during my era, created an institute to kind of rebuild that pipeline. But that drive was already there. So when that time came, it could be rebuilt. I'll say this. Pi Omicron chapter is a very unique thing. I wish there was a documentary to really talk about how this thing got started and who got produced out of this. If you look around this room, this is insane.
When you talk about the professions, the environment that you were in, look at what these brothers are dealing with right now. And in that 90s era, we were dealing with that. Nazim, myself, Eric, who wasn't even a brother then, we went to the Million Man March. We were there to make sure that we were registering our presence at that time. Look at where you have become now. Look at who's in the room. Look how it's being captured. That's the legacy. That's why I flew back here. And the last part for me is, I'm not a Texan. I had a PAA. I came from South Carolina. Landed at Esтерwood Airport with 2 Foot Lockers and a lime green linen suit. And that was a long time ago. But the men that I met here and what we've done now is just a testament of where we've come from and where we've got to go. I owe a lot to this brother right here. You know, Ken, I ain't going to say you're my daddy. There was a brother in here once called Ken and Daddy. Y'all knew what I'm talking about. But the spirit of brotherhood, this man co-signed on my first apartment after I graduated in Dallas. A young brother, once again. You're talking 22, 23 years old. But that was the commitment that was shown. And that's the challenge I put on to the next.
Hey, thanks, Brother Watson. Now you didn't really follow proper protocol, because what Rod and Charles did, they talked about the lines right up to their line.
Well,
and they talked about the ones before. So here's the thing: we left out the theta line and talking, because I thought you was gonna.
No, I didn't leave them out. I omitted them.
Oh, you admitted it? And I know, okay. Okay, so it was intentional. It was intentional. It was intentional. But, you know, after our line in spring of 91, there was the spring 92 line, the theta line. And these guys, I'm serious. We joke, we cut, we have fun, but they are a very, very dynamic group of individuals. I'm talking about 1 through 9. I mean, I love them all. They're my brothers, and they've done some of the biggest things Pi Omicron has done in our chapter's history. And so with that as well, I want to recognize one of my best friends in life and their line brother, Reginald Brothers. I think prior to Reginald Brothers, Kevin Roberts, we have, 2 brothers now who have in the mega chapter, for those who are guests, 3. The mega chapter is for our deceased brothers. And so on the spring 92 line was Reginald Brothers, who's in the mega chapter. I know on the Epsilon line, Kevin Roberts, Alpha line, Nathan, that's right, Nathan McClellan. And so we just want to recognize those brothers as well. And so that takes us 85 to 90, 91, 92, 93, Iota, everybody knows the story of Iota. Y'all some hard brothers. I'm going to leave it at that. And so then next one, we got 95?
Well, it should be 95 to 2000.
95 to 2000. So anybody here from the Lambda line? Nobody here from the Lambda line, and that's why we're going to admit them.
Good afternoon, guests and brothers. I'm Brother Andre Lede, Spring 96, the Deuce from U-Line. I do want to take a quick second and recognize our brothers from the Lambda Line who are not with us at this particular program, but those brothers came at a time, just to continue the story, right before a moratorium hit this campus. And had it not been for the bold and swift action of the brothers here to organize and get those brothers into the chapter, into the process, we only know, heaven knows what the chapter would have looked like on the other side of it. There was a lot of other, events that were going on campus, whether it be the Hopwood decision that was on the tail end of that. If those of you that are aware of that decision changed the landscape of some of the recruiting and the opportunities here at Texas A&M. But through it all, the one thing that was a standard was Pi Omicron. And what I'm proud to say is when I came to this campus, it was amazing to see leadership in the most organic way. You had brothers that were leading in student government, NAACP, programs across campus, medals. When I came as a senior, I saw brothers leading medals. Ken, you were there. When it was SBSLC, you had brothers leading. Regardless of the program and the status, brothers were leading. So when the MU line came into the chapter, we had opportunities. Even before MU line, I see my LB back here, Donovan Wheatfall, Eric Curley, my LB as well. We were right alongside these brothers and had an opportunity to be at some of those marches. You'd see us in the battalion. You'd see us raising our voices. Who knew that service was also leadership? And so as we fast forward, you see brothers across this room. When you leave Texas A&M, it's just so interesting when you think about 3.5% of this population splintering out with the excellence that has come from this room. The leadership, the service that has come from this room. It's not by accident. That's not diversity, inclusion, and equity. That's excellence at its mark. It doesn't have a label. It doesn't have a shift. And so as the university has an opportunity to recognize that, I just want to make sure we continue to walk hand in hand with one another, but also this great university so that we can make sure that people know that alphas, Pi Omicron alphas, are here to not just serve, but that service is leadership for this organization. I hand it off to my brother really quickly, but I do want to recognize my LBs who are here today. So MU line brothers, go ahead and give us a quick stand up for you. Go on, stand up. Love these brothers. We've been through it all together. Marriages, divorces, weddings, you name it. But through it all, Alpha stands strong, and I'm handing it to this brother. Actually, before I sit down, I'm gonna selfishly take a wide angle selfie. Get up in here with me. Yeah, you can. Come on. Hey.
That's all right. All right, brothers. Brother Marcus LaFleur, fall 1998. I'm the Deuce. It's funny because we've talked about a lot of our successes in PIO, and y'all start off with one of the ones that wasn't necessarily that successful. Let's talk about PIO. Let's talk about Chico DeBarge. So we came into the chapter like on the back end of the Chico fiasco, and some money wasn't available. So a lot of our programs and things were limited. So we had to learn how to do a lot more with a lot less. I finished in fall 1998. We didn't have another line all the way until 2000. But if y'all were about establishing a legacy, we were literally about continuing it. I mean, we did every national program with a limited amount of brothers, and we took pride in making sure that we were able to do that. Go to high school, go to college. Project Alpha, a voteless people is a hopeless people. We took our Miss Black and Gold pageant to the next level, and we didn't have a national winner. She was second place, but she ended up being Miss Texas USA. Like I said, we had a firm foundation that was established by you guys, and we tried to just continue it on. From a more personal standpoint, and I didn't think I was ever going to get the opportunity to say this, through my own personal struggles with family and things like that, you brothers were my brothers. You were literally family. A lot of y'all know about the situations and things that have happened in my life, and I was able to literally lean on you brothers in times when I didn't have the people who I guess should have been there. What it taught me more than anything else is that, this family that we're in, it's solid. We have our disagreements, we have our arguments, we have our fights, but we also have our joys. And those joys by far outweigh any bit of the issues and problems and grievances that we have with each other. I think that our one charge was not only to be good brothers, but to make good brothers. And even though we didn't have necessarily the resources that, that we, I guess, should have had, we honored that charge. We stepped a lot, made a lot of money stepping, and I had to give props to my line brother in the Omega chapter right now, Christopher Bryant. God rest him. If you go now to the Smithsonian Museum in D.C., he's right there on the fourth floor, leading the step when he was working for Step Africa. You guys taught us how to be men. And from there, like I said, you inspired us to do great things.
campus was different back in the gown. You know, it was different. But you guys established that excellence and allowed us to have a face in the university. I remember Alpha Tuesdays, we'd always be suited and booted and walking around. We got that from you guys. Y'all set up meetings with campus leadership so that we were able to voice our concerns as black men on campus and actually be heard. I remember having a meeting when I was president with Dr. Malin Sutherland every week. Go and have lunch with him. You guys taught us that. And so it's not only about just the things that we did here, but it was also about the community. We adopted, we were still at Kemp Elementary, volunteering there, at the Lincoln Center, volunteering there, establishing partnerships in the Bryan College Station community. And then that same work ethic we were able to take to our own respective communities after graduating and doing the same thing in those present communities now. I just want to say thank you guys. Great weekend. Great to see everybody. And man, big ups to Pi Omicron. Now, like I said, we were fall 98. Just before us, spring 98 was Omicron. After Omicron was us. And then we didn't have another line until 2000. So, like I said, it was a nice gap. Brothers graduated. And we got down, I think we were down to 3 or 4 brothers before we ended up passing it on to, I don't know who's next, but they'll continue the story. So, God bless y'all. Thank y'all.
Skylar and Brent. Oh, here we go. Perfect. Listen, by the way, we're supposed to be out of here by 2. Obviously, that's not going to happen because we are going to give our brothers some time, but just keep that in mind as we work our way through. Thanks.
He said that we got 6 minutes left to 2. Skylar Greggs, member number 129 of this great chapter. When I was here on campus, we were hosting the 20th anniversary of Pi Omicron. I remember what it was to be an undergraduate and walk in and be like, man, how were we able to walk into these steps of these great men and how we continue to succeed, not just in the chapter, but after that. So the 40th, that feeling still doesn't change. To see these undergraduates, I'm so proud of y'all, the work that you're doing right now. Because y'all came from 1 and y'all built the chapter back up again. I say that because oftentimes we talk about the pride and what's going on with Alpha, but sometimes, like corporations, Alpha can be cyclical. Like Marcus LaFleur, love you, brother. There were some hard times during that moment. And we were fortunate when we came in the chapter. Well, I want to take a step back, I guess, maybe what was going on. My freshman year, Aaliyah passed away, which was a huge thing for our group, right? Lisa Lefly, she passed away as well. Bill Cosby was still welcome on campus. Everybody was out here stepping in the name of love with R. Kelly too, right? Also at A&M, Coach Slocum was in his final years. We had the second black Yale leader, Boo Boo Davis. The debate at the time too, who was going to be the greatest black quarterback that was coming out of Texas? Was it Vincent Young or was it Reggie McNeil? And then also, within less than a month while I was here as a freshman, we had 9/11. So the patriotism and everything that was going on campus, it was an all-time high. The dark side of that is we saw our Middle Eastern brothers who were being assaulted on Northgate, right? We also remember in the battalion, A&M is good, but there were some dark sides too, and I'm sure the Lions can attest to that. We remember on the front when there was the comic book strip, and there was the black mother with the rollers in her hair and the muumuu dress, speaking to her son, saying, you don't get your grades work, you're going to be working luggage at the airport terminal. We also remember where our counterparts were able to go set up in the middle of campus the affirmative action bake sale. $2 for whites, $1 for Asians, 50 cents for black folks, and the cookies free for Mexicans. Wide open. ABC came down with its cameras. Greeks did what they could. Alphas came in as well to help march against that. And we have to give major props as well to, at the time, our president was Bob Gates. Bob Gates was fair. He shot things straight. He left his door open to us to voice our concerns. And believe it or not, on literally his first day of office, he came down and marched with us. We also saw the funeral of Ronald Reagan. People hadn't seen a presidential funeral in decades, right? We had the re-election of George W. Bush. But also during this time period, we saw the emergence of soon-to-be President Barack Obama. Greek life at the time. It was an interesting time because Capitals were making a lot of money. Bros didn't have no money. They had Greek Olympiad. They had Kappa Comedy Jam. But at the same time, some of that started to came down because of the shooting that occurred out at Reed Arena. That started to dissipate. AKAs, the National Moratorium. So they were off the campus at the moment. But they were also what emerged to come again. But the brothers here, again, can't speak hardly enough about Marcus LaFleur, Reggie Lou, who was my dean, Jermaine Harvey, Brandon Hepburn, and forgive me if I forgot some of the other ones, Marcus. They did show us brotherhood, but we loved them enough because they had enough humility and alpha to tell us the things that they did wrong and how we could do better. At the time, the chapter was probably $8,000 in debt. So, brothers, when y'all had the budget yesterday, we understand how they went through. And so we had to look at some of those things of like, what did you have to really cut, but what did you really need? So we kept the brotherhood strong. We made a point because service went down a little bit. We went out in the community. We worked with nonprofits. We worked with the churches. You trying to figure out how to make money? I was talking to a brother last night. I got my own stuff alone and walked out into these neighborhoods with a pamphlet in my hand, telling them about the chapter. We raised a couple of $1,000s alone from this Black and Gold. By the time we all came through, we were able to bring the chapter back to where there was a $10,000 surplus into the bank because we felt it was our brotherly duty to give the brothers moving forward that foot and that leg up to do the work. Not the handout from the brothers that were already successful in here, but just enough so the brothers can continue to be made as men because it was makers of men. I also can't be remiss of talking about Brother Dr. Alvin Lark. I love you. He was always a mentor. If we needed a little bit of money, he'd slide us our way and say, here you go, brother, I'm going to help you. Brother Bob Abraham, even though he is not through this chapter, I think we can all recognize he's probably part of this chapter. I remember when he would see African-American men on the campus and pull us to the side and say, how you doing? How you doing with your grades? Let me come help you. All of us were also privy to where he gave many of us jobs in the MSC at the bowling alley. And so for that, we love him. Dr. G, it wasn't a time when he'd throw out a motherfucker, right? Cussing all of us out. But he also took us into Alpha Eta Lambda, and he showed us what greatness could be as well. He had grace with us, too. We were just boys trying to find our way. And he was patient with us, and he gave us jobs on how to work and things of that nature as well. And also, you know, one of the logos that was on the screen yesterday, best damn chapter period, which is true and rings to this day. Brother Franklin. Okay, Reggie Lou. There we go. That's when that logo was created, and it stands true to this day, and it's glad to see that it's still being used to this day. Also, I think that, you know, as you mentioned, the chapter numbers got smaller because of a lot of different things. And I think where we should take pride in it, we had at the time probably 13, 14 brothers on the ground, on the yard. We went out, we networked with our white brothers and sisters in Greek fraternities and organizations. And I remember when they looked at the size of our group of 13 men, and they got 100-something an hour, and they were like, how do you do the work we do? You just put your left foot in for your right foot, and you get to work. They were astonished. So, brothers, all I can say is, you know, like, while times have changed, they haven't. Just keep moving forward, holding up the light, and this chapter is always going to shine bright.
Good afternoon, brothers. My name is Brandon Cummings. I'm a Fall 16 initiate, the largest line to come through Pi Omicron chapter, period. I am the tail of the 15. At that time point, there was a moratorium / suspension that was going on with the chapter. My dean, Joshua Morris, was the one trying to bring us back in to reinitiate this chapter. When we crossed Fall 16, Joshua Morris said, I did my job, and I'm out of here. He was reachable to a certain extent, but there was a point where he had taught us and other brothers that came to see us and tried to teach us and mentor us to show us what this chapter was all about. From that point on, I was president from day one.
And so learning what that is to stand on the ground that you guys have set for us, or the ceiling you have set became our floor, and learning how to move onward and upward. So from that point on, we were, I think, across the fall. That next February was Miss B&G, and it was hitting the ground running. December was trying to figure out who are the girls, how are we going to make this work, what does this thing look like, everything you guys are trying to figure out right now. And that was with no preparation. So from that point on, we just had to learn to tap into our individuals and everybody in this chapter that knew what this was about. How do we do it? How do we get there? From there, we tried to keep moving. At that point, we were broke as well, coming in. And at that point, Kyle Field, they still do it. They allowed us to actual volunteer or have a concession stand where you can make that money. So we went there, home games. So 7 home games, you get a stand. If you can man it, you can man it. If you need to co-partner with somebody, you co-partner to fill the stand, make your money, you make your split, and we're out of there. Those big SEC games is because when the SEC, we switched over and transferred, those games came to about $2,000 a game. And we made our money, everybody showed up. So those are the way we got money back in our bank and our revenue to try to move us forward, to help with Miss B&G, our service project. So we're working at the Lincoln Center as well on a weekly basis, trying to help and mentor students and kids that we had to contact with. From there, I think we brought in a line that fall 16. So spring 18 was the next line that came after us. At that point, we were just trying to mentor them, trying to get to the point where we continue to establish and understand what the evolution of this chapter looks like as the environment around us is evolving. As we heard from them last night and hearing today, this evolution is consistent. It is cyclical. We're learning that with all these different things and policies coming into place, we have to transition and we have to continue to move forward and try to figure out how we meet the needs of the students on campus. We had the same leadership in NAACP, SPSLC, all those different things, and we still had people in student council and student body as senators. So we all came from the same fabric and this thread that you guys have helped build for us. We continue to let the light shine. From there, we just onward and upward as we got our feet back steady. I'm trying to go past my graduation almost. It was me reaching back. There was quite a few brothers reaching back because I graduated in 2018. So I'm trying to get you to 2020. But from that point, it was reaching back. A lot of that was, I'm in Houston, an hour and a half was not bad. The mentorship was what it needed to be. Me trying to come down to make sure these brothers understood what Alpha was, what Pi Omicron was. But I always wanted to make sure that the prioritization was Alpha first. If we're not doing the things of Alpha, there will be no Pi Omicron chapter. So we have to make sure that they understand what that looks like. What does professionalism look like? Well, how are we walking around campus? How we look like when we put on that black shirt? What do those things look like as alpha men? And make sure we're keeping leadership and we're staying at the forefront of that. And I think that's all I got in to 2020. It's like you're getting beyond my grip. But yeah, onward and up. We're good brothers. Nice speaking to you guys today.
Actually, one more thing. We were talking to our brother last night. Frankly, you remember this. And we told him, hey, man, when you get back to your room, create a Google Doc, get brothers' names, email addresses, all that. But more importantly, make another category of asking brothers what positions they held while they were in the chapter. It's one thing to say this is a lot of lineage. It's another thing to know who you can actually contact for what you need. So make sure y'all get that Google Doc spin up so you can get all this information. Yeah. They got it. But y'all got the category in there too of what they did when they were in. Okay. Yeah. Perfect. Thank you, brother.
right, Brother Chapman, come on up. Undergrads, would you come support your brother, if you don't mind.
Good afternoon, everybody. We're going to keep this pretty quick in terms of time. I just want to thank y'all for being here. I want to say what a blessing it is to stand before you today as we celebrate 40 years of this chapter's history. Now, as we reflect on where the chapter is right now, I'd be wrong if I didn't say that there were some challenges. I know y'all have seen the recent legislation that we've had to deal with regarding DEI efforts and just organizations on campus. It's been really tough, but there's one thing that history proves, and it's that alpha men do not fold under pressure. So we will continue to rise as this chapter has proven in our past. I want to speak to a few of the accomplishments of some of the brothers up here. In our spring of 2023, our chapter was down to one member, Brother Howard Anderson III back there. Yeah. So by fall 24, we were 16 members strong, and we were able to do a lot of great work over the past few years. Our Miss Black and Gold pageant contestant, Inaya Clements, not only won district in Texas, but she was able to represent all of Texas at our regional convention in Little Rock, Arkansas. Brother Bryce McCray, national champion track hurdler, represented our university and showing excellence on the track. Let me see what else we got. Brother Aiden Flowers, accepted into medical school. Phenomenal academic excellence in medical school. Also was a member of the Corps of Cadets as well. Brother Tolu secured a full-time offer in cybersecurity after doing his internship this summer, as well as Brother Danya Williams securing an internship in sales, and then transitioning into a full-time role. Our Stroll Like Alpha event had over 35 participants and drew over 150 attendees from all over campus. We're really trying to make sure we keep our presence alive at all times. Brother Tommy Bankole won a $1,000 regional scholarship for academic achievement at our regional convention in Little Rock, Arkansas. Brother Kenneth Brooks serves as the president of Aggie Black Male Connection, continuing our leadership tradition. We also have 4 members on the Excel Exec Board, continuing to build that influence in those relationships on campus. We also brought back Swim Jam, reviving one of our events that we really wanted to host. The event was a success, and we heard a lot of positive feedback for that, so we're looking to expand on that in the future. And then we also have 2 of our brothers serving as vice president and treasurer of the MPHC board. So ensuring our voices are heard in Greek leadership on campus as well, to really ensure that we're able to make those changes. And then, yeah, this past summer, most of our members were able to participate in internships all over Texas. I know Brother Masai was actually in Silicon Valley doing his internship. But we're continuing to excel not only on campus, but in our communities and in our careers as well. So when you put all of that together, you tell the story of a thriving chapter, not just a surviving chapter. In 2026, we will be hosting the district convention here in College Station. This will be a chance for us to not only showcase our current chapter, but the strength of our alumni network at this university, demonstrate all of the different things that we built out throughout the last few years. And this brings us to our vision for the future. Despite these hurdles, we will not back down. Our vision is to create spaces for belonging, to amplify the voices that need to be heard, and to demonstrate through our leadership and service that we are a vital part of this university's story. We have the gift of the history behind us, but the responsibility of legacy ahead of us. The next 40 years will be defined by how we rise to meet the new challenges, how we adapt, and how we keep the core of who we are alive and thriving. So tonight we celebrate this milestone. Let's recommit ourselves to one another, to our values, and to the bright road ahead. So here's the 40 more years of excellence and to the many more years still to come. Thank you. Two things I just wanted to mention. If you are willing to support us in any way, please make sure you fill out that registry so we can reach out to you. We also have the ways of payment figured out now. So please reach out to an undergrad brother. If you don't feel like donating financially, please donate knowledge to us as well. So we'll talk to y'all and reach out to y'all in the future.
So, brothers, being a Navy man, and there's probably other military brothers in here, we have something called double time. But actually, we have maybe 15, 20 minutes at the most, so I can't even do that. So I'm going to skip some of this and go directly to the topic at hand, and that's our founders. Had a nice, long speech written. Don't even want to do that. I think, especially given the events of the last 2 days, this should be from the heart. So I will start with just a small story. I came to this campus thinking that I knew just about everything. I was top of my class coming from Dallas. Came here with one thing in mind, and that was graduating. Because I knew, and I think other brothers would say the same thing, I knew I couldn't flunk out and go back home. So freshman year, head was down in the books, doing my thing. But I also knew that something was missing. And then came the knock on the door. So I appreciate the fact that you saw something in me to bring me on board. I think all of my brothers will say the same thing. But I owe you my gratitude. I owe you my respect. I owe you a number of things that I just can't express right now because there just isn't time. I think every brother in here would say the same thing. So first and foremost, let me have the Alpha line stand up. Can the Alpha line just stand up for me? Because out of the 11 of us, we have 5 here today. And I know that I speak for all of them when I say thank you for what you did for us. Sometimes, and I'll say this, we go through life honing our skills, making sure our abilities are correct, accurate. But sometimes it's really just being available. It's not having abilities, it's having availability. That's what you did for us. You showed up. So we appreciate you. I'm going to cut it here because I think we have about 10 more minutes. Please come up and speak to us.
Okay, to all the brothers, I'm delighted to be here today, and thank you, Anthony, for last year telling me it was going to happen, and I should put it on my calendar because I had something else come up today, but I wanted to be here today, and my family in South Carolina suggested that you go where your heart is, and my heart's with you all. I remember I had just gone over Friday night, the 13th of July, 1984. I was one, me, myself, and I. And I moved to Texas that Sunday. And that Tuesday, Kevin and I met to try to perform. And Vanderbilt told us it would never happen because the only church on campus would be the four cadets. I went back to my office. Kevin is not as emotional as I am, but I was emotional because I felt lost. And my department head cursed out that day. He didn't curse me because he said, I'm not cursing you, Clyde. I'm just a person. He said, this so-and-so thing will never happen, and you will never get tenure here because you come here, you got me for a class, and you've been to the president's office. And so I had to go home and tell my wife what happened that day. She said, well, Lord, she told me about it. She said, follow your heart. And my heart was to see that other young men would have the opportunity I have to become a member of the greatest fraternity on earth.
I'm glad that my brother is standing next to me because this is what we do. My father was an Alpha, so I grew up as the son of an Alpha. And some of y'all know that he was my past regional vice president. And I grew up as a kid going to Alpha convention. So when I went to college, it was a done deal. I knew I was going to be an Alpha man. I pledged the spring semester of my freshman year. Then next year, 1 year later, I became a life member of Alpha Phi Alpha. I paid my $250 for my first check. That was the best investment I ever made in my life. I never had to pay national dues. So when I came to Texas A&M to work in the Department of Student Activities under Dr. Carolyn Adair, and I knew what the research said about having black student groups, black fraternities and sororities on white college campuses, and the impact that they had. When I got here, the Deltas were already here. The AKAs came next. Some of you all know that I was the founding campus advisor for the Southside chapter of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority while I was here. So, and then, Lord and behold, our financial aid director at the time, Brother Tam Benson, again, the financial aid director for Texas A&M, a black man, an Alpha man. Then my good brother, Dr. Alvin Lark, came. He just told you the story quickly. So I knew between the three of us, the time was right for an Alpha chapter at Texas A&M. And from that Alpha line to now, you all have proved what Alpha men really are and will continue to be. I am so proud of each and every one of you. I appreciate all the things that you have done for this institution because the record would show when you served as the director of Excel, those students who went through Excel outperformed all students, not just black students. The research at A&M says those students outperformed students who went to Fish Camp, the freshman class, period. When you served in leadership capacities of SBSLC and brought it to be the largest student-run conference, not the largest black student-run conference, the largest student-run conference in the nation, bringing 1,200 students to campus year after year after year. The record is going to show when you look at how the numbers increase of black males receiving the Buck Wire Spirit Award and who's who, whose names are going to be on those awards. Alpha men. So I am so proud of you all. And 40 years later, my mom and dad just had a son and a daughter. But I can honestly say I have so many wonderful brothers. And I'm looking at so many of them today. In closing, just let me say thank you for your love, your support, your emails, your phone calls, your texts, because probably a week that can go by that somebody's not checking on us. And you all don't know how much that means to both of us. We love you, thank you, and congratulations on 40 years. And I look forward to coming back probably in the next 10 to 20 years.
Don't move, stick it.
Hold up, you feel it.
Brother Jack. So, again, in the interest of time, we're going to spend a couple minutes doing this. We want to ensure that we shine the light on these flowers. We give them the flowers now. This plaque says, in grateful recognition of your vision, leadership, innovative commitment in founding the Pi Omicron, unwavering commitment in founding the Pi Omicron chapter, Alpha Pi Fraternity Incorporated at Texas A&M University on September 15, 1985. You laid the foundation. We're late for that.
Oh, you almost done? Sorry.
You laid the foundation for our success, inspired a legacy of brotherhood that is unmatched and stand as a pillar of leadership, scholarship, and service for past, present, and future generations. Brothers of Pi Omicron, thank you for your perseverance and your inspiration. September 13, 2025. Thank you. One more thing. Probably need Brother Chapman. This is the proclamation from the national office for 40 years. Pi Omicron.
Mike.
From Brother Harry Johnson, congratulations to Pi Omicron. Mike. From Brother Harry Johnson, congratulations to Pi Omicron. From Brother Lucian Mattel, current GP, congratulations Pi Omicron, 40 years. Mark Tillman, congratulations, number 40. Skip Mason, happy 40th anniversary, Pi Omicron. And Brother Willis Lonzer, happy 40th anniversary, Pi Omicron, 06. This is from the national office celebrating our 40 years on campus. This one is for our brothers. This one is for our president, Brother Chapman.
Get in the middle. Open up, get in the middle.
Oh, yeah, we're going to One, two, and three. The time, 1, 2, and 3.
Thank you. Here, this is for y'all.
Thank you, brother.
Don't make me cry like that, boy.
One, tomorrow morning we have breakfast at First Watch over in College Station. If you're going to breakfast with us, you're going to stay over, I'm going to go to breakfast at 10 o'clock, raise your hand so we can take a quick count. If you're going to breakfast tomorrow, we just need a quick count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's about 20.
Appreciate you, boy.
30 people. Perfect. Second, we had a challenge with the Souvenir Journal. Had tremendous feedback. I mean, as of the day before yesterday, we're still getting ads and pages and what have you. So given the time, what we're going to do is wrap that all up and send it out via a link so that everybody has a copy of the Souvenir Journal. And last but not least, oh, by the way, if you don't have a wristband, thanks, Brother LaFleur. If you don't have a wristband that says Pio 40th, Brother LaFleur. And if you have registered for the weekend, make sure you stop and pick up your T-shirt on the way out. This is the front. There you go. There's the back. You know what? Since we have to be out, we'll pass these out later, but understand that if you signed up, you get a T-shirt so that you can take it with you. So, brothers, let's get out of here and go take our picture. Thank you. Yeah, really.
We just didn't acknowledge all the brothers in Omega chapter, and I think we did this not to honor them. Kind of give it half off. This is just me thinking, because I think it's just, we'd be remiss if we don't know how many brothers will soon join that chapter. So just even if it was a moment of silence versus going all of them, so maybe we can do that at the game or somewhere else. Yeah, I just think it would be a disservice to them that we come all the way. That's all on the agenda. I just know we ran out of time.
Yeah, so I completely agree, Sherman. And I.
Excuse me, gentlemen. Excuse me, gentlemen. Excuse me.